Okay, I played a little bit with the settings, so welcome again to the Pillars of Eternity CRPG made by Obsidian a few years ago, which was made by the many pledges on, which was funded by many pledges on a Kickstarter, and one of these pleasures. I played it for a few hours some years ago, but I've never finished it, so it's kind of not 100% blind, but I will not be using any playthrough for the first time, and I hope I will enjoy it as much as possible. I have, as you see, installed both of the DLCs or expansion packs for Pillars of Eternity, and also another few which were offered on GOG for free, like Dead Fart Pack and so on. So now I'll try to do my new character. Yeah, as always, first game for me is in a normal difficulty.
Five wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Okay, the first thing to do is to make a character. So yeah, I always play as a male. No change this time. Not the race. I go for Orlan. Why not? Hurt Orlan will be a better choice for me. And because it has different than most of the other classes that you can play in other games, I will play a Cipher. And now the spells. This one. And probably this one, but let's check other ones as well. Confusion or charm? Or blindness? Nah, I take this one. Let's see this one. Culture. Intellectual perception would be the best one. I go for the white advance. Will be there in expansion pack anyway. Culture. I take the mystic one. I prefer this one. Looks like not many options for Orlands. Yeah, more female character than male for Orlands. So let's get this default one. And because we are from the north, I'll take some bird. And it will be this one. Yeah, I think this one is the perfect. Nord one should be a little bit pale. Let's go this one. And blonde hair. Let's use this one.
Hey there.
Kill them all!
I'm here. Let's go!
Huh?
Death to our enemies!
Hmm?
Let us end this!
Oh?
Finish them!
Hmm?
Let's go!
Hmm?
Let's go!
Huh?
Let's go!
Huh?
Let's go!
Hmm?
I shall lead us.
Yeah, I take the mystic one. And name as always the first character. Let's see how the game changed after many patches. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jaws quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods towards a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Sparfell nods and slides the worm bow over his shoulder. Where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
What are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
So your character's attributes, skills, class, race, and culture, and sex may all open up options for you in dialogue. These options are not necessarily superior to the other responses, but give you a wider variety of choices to select from. The manner in which someone responds to your choices depends on their individual personality and attitude.
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous out there?
Not if you hurry about your business. And not if the weather holds up.
There is a concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. What kind of weather do they get out of here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
What are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Audra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
I'll go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travels, resting his eyes at length on the sturdy armor-clad woman who has spent the journey nights sleeping on uneven grounds without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her, you're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Welcome to Pillars of Eternity. If this is your first visit to the world of Eora, you may want to watch these windows to become familiar with the tools and interfaces available to you. Yeah, I'd rather do that. Your party always consists of your characters and up to 5 additional companions or adventurers. While the caravan is camped outside the Glanfadan ruins, Odeoma has assigned Kalisha to help you. Kalisha is a fighter, a class that excels at close quarter defense. Use her abilities complement to your own. To select the party member, click on their selection circle, their portrait, or press the number button that corresponds to their positions in the party, starting with 1 at the left. To select multiple party members, click and hold anywhere on the screen and drag the marquee over the circles of the party members you'd like to include. To move selected characters, click anywhere on the screen where your cursor is a circle of 4 wedges. All selected characters will path to their corresponding positions in the formation. If you see a red circle with a slash through it, you cannot walk on that part of the map. When multiple party members are selected, the action bar is hidden. To see an individual character options, select only that character. Party AI. Well, let's check the options first. Guns Pledge. Okay, this is my ring from Kickstarter and also this one. Let's use it just until we get anything better. And let's use this one. Character. Journal. Collect some spring berries to concoct a remedy. Okay, we have 2 main quests in the Hollowing of the Deerwood. So let's go for the berries first. That's how the map looks. We still don't have a stronghold, so let's check also her inventory, scale armor, a torch and a battle axe. I have hatchet and a dagger. I would not feel good enough to have 2 double wielding, so let's use the hatchet only. Yes, bigger accuracy. And looks like dagger has better damage. And this one has deflection. So let's go with this.
Oh?
Go on then, before it gets too dark.
Most people you encounter in the world are now travel friendly. You can interact with them by clicking on their selection circle. Many characters will simply greet you and go on their way, but others will have larger conversations to explore. The merchant Hevden has a conversation that opens a store with equipment for sale. Okay, let's check this one. It's locked. It's closed.
I can get it to spill its secrets.
Lockpicks. Okay, let's check her skills.
Hmm?
What you need? Springberries grow wild all over the place here. Keep your eye out.
Skill. Stealth, athletics, lore mechanics, and survival. Me. Okay.
Oh?
Cannonwell doesn't agree with you, does it? You look as raw as that merchant Heodan.
Oh?
Deal with clothing and lockpick. Difficulty 1, so
I shall make it so.
let's see.
It's done.
Potion of minor endurance. Plus 50 endurance, so it gives you a little bit of health. All kinds of beasts in these woods, and you have the tribes. Don't mind Odema, this is as good a place to camp as any. It's best not to wander alone, especially so near the ruins. I've traveled with Odema before. He's never let us astray. Here is Heodan.
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
I see more and more people on the roads these days looking for safety. In towns and cities, it seems. I suppose you wouldn't know much about Haglan Vadans. They're mighty protective of places like this. Yes. These tall glass green pillars appears as if they have sprouted from the earth. The flickering fire sets shadow dancing within. Caravan life doesn't agree with you, does it? You look as raw as that merchant Heodan. You really don't look so good. Edema was right to stop. Let's see this one. 10 copper. And minor regeneration. So let's see what he has for sale. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He is transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
Let's play it clever. We have a lot of intellect. If you think these caravanners are prickly, watch out for those axe-wielding Odema mentioned. He lost. That's an excellent advice indeed. You now have one rank in a disposition reputation. These reputations represent how people perceive your personality, though throughout the world. Even seemingly nasty reputations will be favored by some people, and benign reputations often bring out the worst in certain people. No disposition is inherently good or bad in Pillars of Eternity. But if your main character is a priest or paladin, you must be careful not to misalign their dispositions with what is favored by their deity and order, respectively. For the main character only, their dispositions will modify the effects of holy radiance for priest and faith, and convictions for paladin.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Tell me about the Ether Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Saris and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire, a fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
He gives you a lopsided grin and nods at the other scattered caravanners. Why do you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Raed Saris? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
He shrugs. Deerwood is a former Adar colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. And as much as I admire the Red Saren work ethic, they always struck me as a little fanatical. Let's go diplomatic. That's high-minded of you. A blush rises from under his collar. Not at all, just doing my part. So let's see what you got. Stores allow you to trade and sell your items for copper pieces or items in the store's inventory. Merchants buy items from you at a greatly reduced price. If you sell something, you may see it appear in the store's inventory with a much higher cost. Stores periodically refresh their inventories. $110. I think I'll go for the small shield at first. One lockpick is always good to have. Okay. Let's check the surroundings. Oh, first this one. The fallen tree doesn't budge. Sap oozes from the jagged
Not looking
wound.
forward to trying to lift that thing tomorrow.
Okay, looks like in the morning we will have to pick this up. Exploration is key in Pillars of Eternity. As you make your way through the eastern reach, open the area map to see what parts of the map you've already been and what's left to explore. Our fellow, who is this?
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
Travelers maybe, or looters, or bandits. Bad sign anyway, you figure it. The corpse is cold to the touch, and ripe smell wafts from it in purid waves, a dark, crusted bloodstain besmirches its simple linen clothing. Leather armor. And another lockpicks.
This is recent. Not good.
Use the tab key to highlight the interactive objects in the environment. Yes, I'm using it. It's the same as in most of the older BioWare and Obsidian games. The footprints around the campfire are indistinct and may have been here for days or longer. Beer. Let's see. Skills.
Oh? Yes?
More ingredients. Burnt lady.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Young wolf.
Hmm?
Pillars of Eternity Combat uses a pausable real-time system because you will often manage more than one character at the time. It's a good idea to pause the game, issue orders, and resume real-time to see the orders pay out. The options menu also contain many choices for automatic pausing when certain conditions are met, e.g. start of combat. Okay, successfully knocked down.
Certainly.
Wolf hide. You scored a crit. A crit is a better result than a hit, and they are more likely to occur when the attack's accuracy is higher than the target's defense. Attacks that do damage will do more damage on crit. Attacks that inflict status effect or afflictions will have increased duration on a crit. Grazes are worse than hits and suffer decreased damage and effect durations.
This is it.
I heard you're kind of a spiritual sort. I spent my days studying theology. Let's go. I get visions from time to time that guide my way. Yeah? How is it you happened to come here? I had a vision that sent me here. You've got a lot of on your mind then. Hopefully things work out in the end, but in my experience, they don't always. Okay, as you receive quests, your journal will update with relevant information. If you ever get stuck, open it up and review your notes. Anyway, Kalisha breathes in her surroundings. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Redrick's offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You're here to settle, like the rest of the lot. I hadn't given it much thought. No harm in that. Might as well see the place first. So, you must have some other plan in mind for coming this way. Just looking for some adventure, really. You should hook up with an expedition. Some of the bigger towns send the regular groups out to unexplored places, long as you don't mind a little danger. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odemas will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Why are you here? Kalisha sighs unevenly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried, but that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out, and that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide work in Ikshamitl, but I'd do anything for her. She's, well, she's a much better woman than me. So I'm here and we'll see. Odema, I worked with before. He doesn't usually drive a road this way, but he's doing it for me. Tell me about yourself. I got a simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family members too. We started in Deerwood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. I've got a brother in Rawatai and another in Adir. My sister in Gilded Vale. She's the only real homebody. What can you tell me about Deerwood? I'm not much for history, but for what I know, it used to be a part of Edir Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. The locals here are feisty, and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing very weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now. But somehow it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, I'll have to ask my sister more about it. Alright, alright, let's get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath to that Sparfel's getting your water anytime soon. He does what he feels like when he feels like it. We should check up on him first, slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get your water. Let's find Sparfell. Let's go a little bit around here.
Hmm? Oh?
This path winds through a narrow canyon, back the way you
We shouldn't
came.
stray too far.
Grooves in the road mark the passage of hundreds of caravans. So, let's find that Sparfell guy. He was here, but
What a surprise. Sparfel went hunting. At least he left the water skins. Come on.
you crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Kalisha waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. You have gained an item. Quest full water skin added to the stash. Out of the trees emerges Sparfell, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there is a strangeness to his gait, his stride wobbly as he moves toward you with labored breath.
Sparfel? Are you alright?
Sparfell's toe catches on a rock and he collapses forward in a heap. the feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag.
Ambush!
Okay. Hunter. Let's go one by one.
What you need?
Sometimes a weapon or spell simply isn't well suited to penetrating an enemy's damage reduction. When the attack hits, the damage reduction will wipe out all but a small percentage of the incoming damage. You will hear your characters complain about it when it happens. Take heed, note the damage type that's being blocked, and switch to a weapon or spell that does a different damage type.
Come on, we have to get back to camp.
Yes?
And another hunter.
Hmm?
Oh? Hmm? Certainly.
The camp is down. Was attacked. All around you lie the massacred remains of the other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Kalisha puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward away some poison or vapor. A handful of dark figures stand above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering and severe with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Howden, the last of your caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. The ruin has not been sullied by our hands, man of Airglenfath. Hmm, let's go this one. Your words carry no weight when I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them. They mean to kill us all. Judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck, I'm guessing you are worshippers of Galawain. If Galawain told you to stop protecting the ruins, would you? The man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Howdan winces, but the blow never comes. Instead, the man cocks his head, intrigued. Of course, but we would not. It is by the command of all the gods that we accept this charge. How do you know? Because it's consistent with their beliefs, or because it's what you were told? The man glares. It has always been known to my people. I see. And what of Galawain's edict that weakness and age must be purged by youth and strength? You think Galawain would want some moldy crumbling stones to survive long after their builders have turned to dust? The man nostrils flare as he fumes. He would not. He told us otherwise. I'm sure he did. Just not you personally, but why should that stop you from killing innocents? Distracted, the man's grip falters on his axe handle, and he nearly fumbles it, affording Howden the moment he needs to dodge out of his swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges you instead. Let's blind him. And knock down her and kick his ass.
How can I help?
Your enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise, his companions now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing fistful gasps. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choked teeth, a whisper of wind stirs the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good, good. The gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I'm ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begins to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as tough it is rending you apart from within. Seated against the wagon wheel, amidst the howling maelstrom slashed across chest and bowel, Odemas' body stares, and with great effort he raises his sagging head. His eyes barely open. He looks directly at you.
Get inside! Run!
Straining against the gale that threatens to pull you off your feet. With every step you set your hands in the warm folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. Hevden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen attackers who had been feigning death lunges for Helden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Helden lashes out against his fatigued assailant but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you, despite the wind from your position. If you were to throw your weapon at the attacker, he would have a good chance at hitting your mark. Okay. Not enough dexterity. Allow Helden to break free on his own. Wresting free of the attacker's grips, Helden lands a blow that sends the assailant reeling, and he makes a mad dash for the ledge upon which you stand. Suddenly, as he reaches for the rock face, his body jerks back and is rigid, as though it were a bow being strung. His shrieks of pain grow panicked, abandoned of all restraint, like someone tethered to a stake and set aflame. A slender wisp of spectral light emerges from his back, rising out of him like smoke before separating itself and disappearing into the ether. At all at once, the scream stops and Helden is dead. There is a deep resonance to the wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances as you dart beneath the old archway. The entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight. So Heoden died for us.
That was... We should be dead. We can't stay here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside.
Escape the ruins. The road to Gilded Vale has been a long one, and it's not over yet. Thankfully, traveling by caravan has insulated me from the danger of the Deerwood. I was forced to flee into the ruins. The way back is blocked, so I'll have to hope there's another way. Okay, you can use the stash.
Certainly.
A level of the ruins has been blocked off by fallen rubble.
Silence surrounds me.
We have to be careful in here. Place has been open to the wilds for a couple thousand years. Might be a lot of vermin taking shelter here. 4-legged if we're lucky. 2 if not.
What happened out there? Kalisha shakes her head. Windstorm. Of a kind they only get in Air Glenfath. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. The Glenfathan world is Biawak. To them, it's the gods' way of reaping the souls of the land that shouldn't find their own way, but they'll take a living soul as soon as a dead one. Still got yours?
We look for another way out. Storm has to die sometime.
Who attacked us? Glenfathans. Those be the hut dwellers Odema warned you about. Looked to be fangs of Gilavain. Were the twitchiest of the lot. They go ruin to ruin, looking for fights with colonists. Poor Adema, I think he half expected this. Once we lost the main road. The Glenfattan side with the rest in the ruins. I don't believe that. Odema would never allow it. But as much as the Fangs are hotheads, Glenfattans don't attack without being provoked. Either they saw something and got the wrong idea, or she glances down the passage beyond. Or there's a looter in here with us. That's not something we need right now. What about everyone else in our caravan? Kalisha's lips press together and her chin rumples, her voice is faint. The wheels got hold of them now. She looks up. Gods grant them better luck in their next lives. You don't seem too upset about all this. Kalisha looks you in the eye, a volatile current running beneath her voice. Maybe you just don't know me enough to know what upset looks like. And maybe I've seen worse too. Seen worse and kept on walking. 'Cause there's nothing else to be done. And 'cause there's other people you care about who still needs you. Let's get going. I have an illness. Interesting.
Stay quiet. Someone else has been here. We should move.
You've discovered some camping supplies. You can use these to rest in the wilderness or dungeons, fully restoring all of your character's abilities and health. Easy difficulty allows you carry more camping supplies, but hard restricts them severely. If you fully run out of camping supplies, try to find an inn. Most have cheap room available.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
Scouting mode is used both for stealth and for finding hidden objects like traps and secret containers. While scouting, your character selection circles will start to fill with yellow when a character is starting to detect them. Once the circle fills yellow, the character is suspicious and will move to investigate, while the circle fills red. If the circle becomes fully red, your characters will be discovered. A character's ability to find a hidden object is based on his or her mechanic skill. A higher mechanic skills allow them to find objects at a greater distance. Moving toward a character accelerates how quickly they will detect you. If you actually touch the selection circle of a character with your own, you will immediately be detected. A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark, clutching a spear. Knobby elbows and thin ribs shows through its scale flesh, but you recognize it as a Xorib. It watches you cautiously, breathing in a rigid sighs. It's okay, I won't hurt you. The Shaurib recoils, fingers still wrapped tightly around its spear. The creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of his throat. The creature sniffs around you and finds nothing of interest. It steps back and resumes its defensive posture. Raise your arms and stand still. The creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its throat. Okay, slowly back away. The Xaurig watches warily as you go. Ah.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
This small folio is torn in several places and blood has soaked into several of the sheets. One letter entry is still illegible, however. I can't believe my luck. A few rounds of dice and I've got my hands on a genuine Engwithan artifact. Fellow who had it said it was a pretty nothing as far as he's concerned. He is not willing to go digging in some ruins, but if he's right about this gem leading to a hidden treasure, even that's worth sneaking past a few painted elves. I'll head to Cilant in the morning, then it's just a matter of finding this relief he was talking about. You can switch to new weapon sets by selecting the weapon icon from an individual collector's action bar.
Wait, do you hear that?
Yes.
What you need?
Yes?
Finish the... To whispers and shadows.
That looks weak. Could be a shortcut.
A crack runs along this wall from floor to ceiling. A light gust of air passes through it. Use the hammer and chisel to weaken the wall. You set to work, the cracks lengthen and widen with your efforts, but the process is more taxing than you expected. Sweat bets your forehead and your muscles begin to ache. Continue chiseling at the wall. After several long moments, you begin to see light on the other side. With the final tap, several blocks of stone shifts, then tumble loose, clearing a gap just wide enough to pass through. You have lost any time, hammer and chisel.
Stay quiet.
The eastern reach is a dangerous place full of lurking enemies and carefully concealed secrets. Enable scouting mode to move stealthily and search for hidden objects like traps and secret doors.
Oh?
Stay quiet. Those tiles look suspicious. Let's be careful. Those symbols. Just like the tiles.
A symbol of patterned circle is inscribed on this pillar. An unlit brazier sits at its base. It could be lit if you had the means. Flames kindle swiftly in the brazier, winding their way upwards. Ooze. Ouch.
Oh?
To whispers and shadows.
Where'd that slime come from?
Viscous and oily, this muck clings to anything it touches. A viscous slick of something dark and tar-like runs down this wall. The shapes and bulges in the ooze suggest that something lies beneath it, but you can't tell what. Use your water skin to clear off the ooze. You have lost any time, full water skin. You rinse the ooze away, revealing an intricate relief on man's face. The sunburst surrounding it has chipped away in places, but the details of his head, from the tight curls of hair to the ridges of his pointed ears, still showcase remarkable craftsmanship. One eye socket is empty, a gem fills the other. Place the gem in the eye socket. You have lost any 10 Angwithan relief gem. The chamber begins to rumble, stray rocks dancing across the tile floor. Finally, a large section of the wall gives away. And another ooze. Oh, that's everything. But nice find.
Hmm?
Oops. Ouch. When a party member is reduced to 0 endurance, they are knocked out. This means they are out of the fight, but as long as your side is victorious, they will regenerate their endurance when combat ends. Even though endurance regenerates after combat, health does not. Keep an eye on the bar to the left of a character's portrait to prevent them from becoming maimed or killed. Ouch.
Yes?
Hmm? Fresh air in
Yes?
here. I think we found an exit. Sounds like the storm path, too. Stay quiet.
Certainly.
A spider link.
Finish! Certainly. Shh.
And big spider. Let's knock her down.
Certainly.
What's this? Butts as large as chickens are strung in the web.
Hmm? Shh.
And one more room. Helm. Okay, that's it. So probably let's go outside.
To whispers and shadows.
Older robe man. Four figures stands before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled adra and metallic vines, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body colorless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out among them. A thick grey beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a running language, unlike anything you have ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress with two protrusions that just out like the wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book. Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth, and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. Then, all at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision, and you are knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land, and pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thought away into the black, unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end, a great pillar of adra pierces the floor from below, its shimmering textures giving the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they are all questions, breathing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered, or. At the base of the pillar now, you see a man with a thick grey beard in a ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You are walking towards him now at a pace that is hurried while trying not to appear so. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all, and the question spins madly in your mind. You awaken to find your malaise has broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits through your periphery, but when you turn to look, You can see no signs of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly dating this way and that, an involuntary paranoid thick. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. One of your characters has become fatigued. Fatigue represents the physical and psychological wear and tear of demanding activity on a character. It is most commonly received as an injury when a character is knocked out, but some scripted interactions will also result in fatigue if they are especially grueling. Fatigue goes through multiple stages, initially inflicting minor penalties, but growing in severity over time. Resting is the easiest way to remove the effects of fatigue, though some consumables can also remove fatigue. The figures at the machine stands frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinder and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. You find Kalisha lying prostrate a short distance away, blood pooled beneath her head. No breath escapes her lips. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. Your Your character has earned enough experience to advance a level. Click the icon on their portrait to level them up. Major fatigue, minus 20 accuracy, minus 25% maximum endurance.
I'd best shed some gear. Sharp eyes and keen ears.
Let's look around. What was that? This massive structure is formed of stone, adra, and copper, and covered in strange glyphs. The air around it vibrates with an unusual energy.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
Okay, I think that's it for now. We have gone through prologue, and all what I need to do is to level up my character, but I think I make it off screen, or you can, if I'm not off screen, you can stop watching right now because the episode will be ending right now. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we see each other at some other later time. So stealth, athletics, so lore, and mechanics, or just for lore? I go for lore and mechanics. I strike for sure, and oh, maybe not. I'll take this one. Also damage. Okay, talents. What to take? No. Damage to soul whip. I think I take this one. Yes, draining whip. We'll see. After leveling a character up, you may want to review their statistics. Open the character sheet to see their attributes, skills, abilities, and talents in greater detail. Yeah, I will be doing that off the stream. So we'll see each other soon.